The story opens with a man named Colonel Winter, who runs a high-security military jail. He is a man who loves order and has a massive collection of war items. One afternoon, he gets a call that changes everything. A very famous man, Lieutenant General Irwin, is being sent to his prison. Irwin was a hero to many, but he was sentenced to 10 years because he ignored a direct order from the president during a mission in Burundi. That mistake led to the deaths of 8 of his own men. Even though Irwin is now a criminal, the warden is excited to meet him. He thinks of Irwin as a legend. Inside the prison walls, word travels fast. The other inmates, including a cynical guy named Yates who runs a secret gambling ring, are all waiting to see if this famous general is as tough as people say. When Irwin finally walks through the gates, he looks tired and humble. He isn't trying to act like a big shot. During their first meeting, the warden shows Irwin his collection of swords and war artifacts. But instead of being impressed, Irwin is honest. He tells the warden that no real combat veteran would want to keep these things because they represent the worst days of a soldier's life. This deeply hurts the warden's feelings. Since the warden has never actually fought in a real war, he feels like Irwin is calling him a fake. From that moment on, his admiration turns into pure hatred. The next day, a prisoner named Aguilar sees the general in the yard and gives him a sharp military salute. It is a sign of deep respect. The warden sees this on his cameras and gets angry. He doesn't want the men looking up to anyone but him. He tells Aguilar that Irwin is just a number now, not a leader. But the prisoners don't care. They start approaching Irwin, asking him to use his outside connections to report the warden's cruelty. Prisoners have been dying from non-lethal rubber bullets, and the guards are out of control. Irwin tells them he just wants to serve his time and stay out of trouble. However, the warden won't leave it alone. He punishes Aguilar by making him stand in the rain for 24 hours while holding a salute toward the warden's office. It is a cold, cruel punishment. Irwin eventually walks out into the storm to help Aguilar. This small act of mercy makes the warden snap. He orders the guards to beat Irwin and then gives him a back-breaking task, moving a massive pile of heavy stones from one spot to another. The warden expects Irwin to give up. He wants the other inmates to see the general fail. Yates starts taking bets on how long the old man will last. But Irwin doesn't stop. He works through the heat and the pain. He even takes off his shirt, showing the deep scars he got on the battlefield. The other prisoners stop laughing and start watching in silence. They see a man who won't be broken. By the time Irwin moves the last stone, the entire yard is cheering. The warden is furious and throws Irwin into a dark, lonely cell. But it's too late. Irwin has already won the hearts of the men. While in the cell block, Irwin starts talking to Yates. He reveals that he actually knew Yates's father, who was a brave soldier. This talk changes Yates. He stops caring only about himself and starts feeling like a soldier again. Irwin also notices a project the warden started, building a decorative stone wall. Irwin takes over the project, turning it into a way for the men to feel proud. He puts Aguilar in charge because his father was a builder. The men work together like a real unit. They call Irwin the chief. The warden feels his power slipping away. To prove he is still in charge, he orders the guards to destroy the beautiful wall the men just built. When Aguilar tries to stop a bulldozer from crushing the wall, the warden orders a sniper to fire. A rubber bullet hits Aguilar in the head and kills him instantly. This is the breaking point. The men give Aguilar a final military salute as his body is carried away. Irwin decides the warden has to go. He meets with a visiting officer, General Wheeler, and tells him about the murders and the abuse. Wheeler tells Irwin he needs proof before the government can step in. So, Irwin and the inmates begin a secret war. They use coded language and hidden signals to plan a takeover. They want to seize the prison and fly the American flag upside down, which is a signal that the person in charge has lost control and everyone is in danger. Yates seems like he might betray Irwin for a shorter sentence, as the warden offers him a deal to be a spy. Yates tells the warden the general's plan, but it's actually a trick. While the warden is distracted, Yates steals the flag from the warden's office. The next morning, the prison turns into a war zone. Irwin uses his knowledge of strategy to lead the inmates. They lock the guards inside the cell blocks and take over the yard. They use homemade catapults to launch fireballs and even manage to crash a helicopter that the warden sends to kill them. It is total chaos, but the inmates are working with perfect discipline. The warden realizes his career is over. He steps out into the yard with his last group of armed guards. He tells the men to surrender or be shot with real bullets. Irwin tells his men to lay down, and they obey him instantly because they trust him. The warden demands his flag back. Irwin ignores him and walks toward the flagpole. He starts to pull the rope to raise the flag. The warden screams for his guards to shoot Irwin, but they refuse. They see that the warden has lost his mind. In a final act of cowardice, the warden grabs a rifle and shoots Irwin in the back. As Irwin falls, he uses his last bit of strength to keep pulling the rope. The flag reaches the top of the pole. The warden looks up, expecting to see it upside down. But Irwin raised it the right way. Stars up. This proves that Irwin was never trying to start a riot. He was just trying to show that the warden was a murderer. The warden is arrested on the spot as the higher-up generals arrive. The movie ends with the inmates rebuilding the stone wall. They carve the names of their fallen friends into the rock, honoring General Irwin and Aguilar forever.